Hi, my name is Marilyn from Marilyn Design. Welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to show you how to move a website that you've created in Wamp to a live server. Now, what is Wamp? Wamp's this little software here. It's called Wamp Server. You can get it online at wampserver.com. And it means Windows, Apache, PHP and MySQL basically creates a server onto your computer so you can work on your websites from your computer. It's also available for Mac and Linux, which is called Wamp Server or LAMP server, but this is the Windows version. I've created a website just here. It's actually not finished at all. It's just standard default website that I'm going to put online for my clients because it's going to have a maintenance page. So I'm going to move that from Wamp to a live server. So what I'm going to do, the first thing is I'm going to open my FileZilla or any other FTP software that you have, and I'm going to navigate to the Wamp folder and to the actual website that I've created. I've already opened up the test sites, and I'm going to move everything in there apart from htaccess and wp-config. There we go. So whilst that is going on, I'm going to go to my live test server and I'm going to go ahead and log in, because what I'm going to have to do over here is create a database and create a user and link the user to the database, and then I'm going to have to create my own wp-config file. What I'm going to do, go to MySQL databases and I'm going to create a database. I'm going to copy this name and I'm going to create the database. I'm going to click go back, and when I scroll down I'm going to add a new user and I'm going to copy that again. So I've got the name of the database and the name of the user. I'm going to use password generator, so I'm going to copy the password, say I've copied the password, say use password, and I'm also going to paste it in here so that I have all the details here to use in a wp-config file. So I've got the database name, the username and the password. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create user and go back. Then I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and say add user to database, and I want to add the user that I've just created to the database that I've just created. And I say add, and then I'm going to give it all privileges and make changes. So there we go, that's all done. Just going to see how this is going. That's still transferring, but that's absolutely fine, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and open up wp-config sample and it'll open up in Dreamweaver. If you don't have Dreamweaver, it's fine. You can also use Notepad or Word or something like that. So as you can see here, it tells me that it wants the database name, username and password, which I copied and pasted earlier. So I'm going to put them in here. Paste. I'm going to paste it there. Make sure that there's no spaces like I just did. And the password. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save it as wp-config, and I'm going to save mine on my desktop. I'm going to navigate to my desktop. There it is. I'm going to double click it and it should be at the bottom right there, so it'll be transferred at the very last. What we're going to do next is I'm going to go to my localhost. So I'll type in localhost and that should get you to the Wamp server homepage. Then I want to go to my phpMyAdmin and I want to go to the database that I've used to create this website. So I'm going to wait until it loads up, and then I'm going to go to the database, which is just here. Now what I want to do is I want to export this database because I want to import it into the live server. So I'll click export, scroll down and click go, and it says that it wants to save the file, which is exactly what I want to do as well. So earlier on we created a database, so now what I want to do is I want to go back to home in my live server, and I want to go to PHP my admin, and I'm going to go to the database, and as you can see the database is completely empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import, and I'm going to choose the database that I've just exported. That's just right here. Double click, scroll down and click go. There we go, it's imported the database. Now the database will be pointing to the Wamp server. Now obviously we don't want it pointing to the local website, I want it pointing to the test site. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the URL, and I'm going to click edit where it says site URL, where I've clicked WP options. I'm going to click edit, and I'm going to paste new website in there and click go. And there's one other value that I need to change, which is on page 2, and this is home, which is right here. That's also pointing to the local website, so I'm going to paste the new live website in there and click go. Well, once this is saved and once FileZilla is completely finished with moving all these files over, I'm going to go back and test that it's working. So I'll see you back in a minute. Right, so as you can see, everything has moved over. We're going to refresh this to see if that's working. Lovely, the website's transferred successfully, and the only thing that we need to do is create an HT access, because if you remember we didn't include the HT access to move over to the live website, because this HT access is unique to this website and we need to create one that is unique to this one. So how we're going to do that, I'm going to go to my dashboard, so I'm going to click a WP admin. I'm going to use the exact same login details that I had on my local Wamp server, because it would have remembered it, because we copied over the database that has all these details stored in there. So now we're going to create our HT access. How we're going to do that is going to go to settings and permalinks, and in there you are going to select something different, save changes. In my case I have to save it twice because I have got WP e-commerce installed. That should create an HT access file. Now we all obviously want to put it back to what we had, so I'm going to save changes and in my case do it again. So to double check that the HT access has been created, I'm going to go back to my FileZilla, and it's not here, so I'm going to refresh, and there it is. Now we're all done and everything should be working.